The doctor was seeing this type of wound for the first time. Jack himself had no idea how he got injured. Seeing the wound wasn't deep, the doctor simply disinfected and bandaged it before sending him home. That night, however, the wound suddenly flared up, bleeding uncontrollably. The pain was so intense it jolted him awake. At dawn, Jack returned to the hospital. This time, he underwent a thorough examination, blood tests, CT scans, various instruments were employed one after another, yet the doctor concluded everything was normal. A friend, hearing about this, offered a suggestion. He thought Jack's condition seemed less like an illness and more like a spiritual affliction. The friend referred him to a diviner. Though Jack claimed not to believe in ghosts or spirits, the unbearable pain in his hand drove him to visit the diviner's home with his friend. The diviner was a girl who appeared to be only 15 or 16. The moment she opened her eyes, Jack was startled. Though she couldn't see people normally, she could see a group of spirits following Jack. The only reason Jack had survived this long was because of a ring left by his father, which had been protecting him. Half convinced, Jack showed her the strange wound and asked what it meant. Seeing the wound glowing with a white light similar to the ring, the diviner's expression turned grave immediately. She took out a handful of rice, scattered it on the table, and began the divination. Soon, a pattern emerged. Was it a cross? Jack finally began to believe her. The diviner explained the cross represented Christianity and instructed Jack to go to the Christian church across the street exactly at midnight, where help would naturally come to him. Jack arrived on time. Just as he was about to enter the church, a crow blocked his path. Followed by a whole flock diving toward him. It seemed some evil presence was trying to stop him from entering. Inside the church, a demon was actually being contained. Two priests, one old and one young, were performing an exorcism. Unaware the demon had two lives, they thought the ritual was nearly complete. As they prepared to finish, the demon suddenly broke free, pinned the elder priest down, and choked him. Gasping for air, the old priest used his last bit of strength to press across against the demon's face, saving his own life. The young priest, terrified, abandoned the elder and fled. Left alone, the old priest was no match for the demon. Pinned to the ground, he could only pray for divine help. And miraculously, it came. Jack rushed in and shoved the demon aside effortlessly. Jack was a professional boxer, after all, highly skilled in physical combat. As the demon climbed onto the roof, snarling, Jack leaped up, grabbed its hair, and yanked it to the ground, leaving the priest stunned. When the demon tried to counterattack, Jack pressed it down firmly. Unexpectedly, the strange wound on his hand began to burn the demon's face, causing it to smoke. Seizing the chance, the old priest splashed holy water on it. The demon's screams grew louder until the flames subsided and the host returned to normal. The exorcism was finally successful. Jack's wound had played a crucial role. The priest explained it was called stigmata, the wounds of Christ on the cross, a gift from God. Just then, the spirits following Jack began whispering in his ear again, urging him to kill the priest. Overwhelmed by splitting headaches, Jack covered his ears and fell to his knees. This wasn't the first time. The old priest immediately knelt before him, praying sincerely to ease his pain, and it worked. It seemed the priest was the antidote to his suffering. That night, the priest even visited Jack's home to recite scriptures and purify the environment. For the first time in years, Jack slept peacefully without nightmares. Meanwhile, the priest received another exorcism request, but the church assigned him no new assistant. Fortunately, Jack happened to visit to express his gratitude. Worried the old priest couldn't handle a demon alone, Jack joined him. They arrived at the afflicted patient's home, where a bruised mother opened the door, barely daring to breathe inside her own house. She simply pointed upstairs, indicating her possessed daughter was there. The priest went to the second floor, first using exorcism tools to draw a cross outside the girl's door to ensure the demon couldn't escape. Then, holding a cross, he entered. The girl sat obediently on the bed. As the priest recited scriptures and approached slowly, she reached out and grasped his hand, pleading with him not to believe her mother, claiming her mother had severe mental illness, often rambled, and was the real demon. The priest pressed the cross to the girl's forehead, but nothing happened. He was taken aback. Logically, if the mother were truly the problem, she wouldn't have contacted the church to invite a priest home. So the issue likely still lay with the daughter. Some demons were cunning and deeply hidden, undetectable from the outside, but if they entered the girl's body, they could be exposed. Working in unison, Jack quickly entered, jumped onto the bed, and pinned the girl's shoulders while the priest poured holy water into her mouth. White smoke immediately rose from her lips as she spat out a mouthful of blood. In the next moment, she seemed like a different person. No longer hiding, the demon lifted the priest telekinetically and slammed him against the wall. Jack swiftly subdued the demon, but it shrieked and suddenly levitated, pinning him to the ceiling. Then, whispering in his ear, it revealed, "I was the one who killed your father." Enraged, Jack grabbed the girl's neck, ready to avenge his father, but this was exactly what the demon wanted. If Jack killed the girl's body, he would succumb to darkness and be forever corrupted. At the critical moment, the priest stopped him, pulling him back from his rage with great effort. Once calmed, Jack removed his glove and placed his stigmata on the girl's forehead, successfully completing the exorcism. Meanwhile, in a dark corner, the demon leader shed tears of blood, knowing another of his followers had perished. After the girl recovered, the priest asked if she had encountered any strangers recently, hoping to find the one responsible for her possession. Just as she was about to reveal the demon leader's location, her eyes began to bleed. The demon was attempting to kill her remotely using a cursed doll made from her hair. The priest recited scriptures on the spot and burned the doll, saving her just in time. That evening, the two shared a meal and celebratory drinks, which made Jack question, as a clergyman, are you allowed to drink? The priest replied it was fine. He was skilled in both smoking and drinking, needing a little each night to sleep well and maintain energy for exorcisms during the day. Even after the meal, the priest wanted more. Meanwhile, the demon leader wasn't idle. In a basement, he began a ritual, summoning a powerful demon from a spring below. Next, he needed a host, someone filled with great resentment. Coincidentally, a young boy in a monastery was being bullied by his peers. After the beating, the boy crouched in a corner, crying silently. The demon leader approached, speaking gently, I'm here to help you. Once the boy let his guard down, the demon entered his body. But no matter how powerful the demon was, it would be futile against the old priest and Jack, who made an exceptional team. So the demon leader devised a plan to drive them apart. Disguised as the injured young priest, he approached Jack, claiming to be the old priest's former partner, the one who fled the church days earlier. At first glance, they did resemble each other, and it had been too dark for Jack to see clearly that night, so he believed the lie. The demon leader showed his hand, claiming to also bear stigmata, and accused the old priest of exploiting their abilities at great physical cost, calling him the real devil. Jack's faith wavered. Around this time, the possessed boy began to transform. Nuns surrounded him, reciting scriptures, but they were powerless against the little demon. Soon, the church called, asking the old priest to perform an exorcism on the demon child. The old priest tried to contact Jack, but Jack wasn't answering. Not only was he doubting the priest, but he also wanted to quit exorcism altogether. Jack's main profession was boxing, and a club had just offered him a contract with an annual salary matching that of boxing champion Tyson. This was a legitimate career. Meanwhile, the old priest went alone to perform the exorcism. As soon as he entered, he embraced the boy, pressing across to his face and interrogating him until he finally extracted the demon's true name. With that, the exorcism should have been straightforward. Just as everyone began to relax, the lights flickered rapidly. The boy opened his eyes again. This time, they were dual-pupiled. A piercing shriek echoed, and an elderly nun fainted on the spot. The boy's body didn't contain just 2 demons, but 666 of them. On his end, Jack couldn't stop worrying about the old priest. He declined the lucrative contract, infuriating his agent, who, it turned out, was sent by the demon leader to delay him. Calling the priest, Jack learned he was in danger. In the exorcism room, only the priest and one nun remained. Both their ears were bleeding, their bodies pushed to the limit. Yet the priest persisted, reciting scriptures and performing exorcisms repeatedly as the boy kept reviving. No one knew how many cycles had passed. Exhausted, the priest could no longer chant. This time, the boy fought back fiercely, pinning the priest down and beating him unconscious. When the nun tried to help with the cross, she was nearly choked to death. At the critical moment, Jack finally arrived. He flung the demon against the wall like a rag doll, then placed his palm on the boy's forehead. As he silently recited prayers, his stigmata glowed brightly. He sprinkled holy water, obliterating all 666 demons at once. Fortunately, the priest was mostly unharmed, and the child returned to normal. The entire monastery thanked Jack, and he finally understood the purpose of exorcism. But the demon struck swiftly, pressing a poisoned blade to his throat. He forced Jack to swear an oath to God, renouncing his stigmata. To save the priest, Jack was about to comply when the priest deliberately drove the blade into his own neck. The demon leader fled into the darkness as the poison quickly blackened half of the priest's face. Jack brought the priest back to the church. The young priest immediately used holy water to treat him, but it was ineffective. The poison was incurable. The only solution was to kill the demon leader to give the old priest a chance at survival. This time, Jack donned sacred robes, took the old priest's exorcism tools, and rode off on his fastest motorcycle. From the formerly possessed girl, he learned the demon's base was a bar. He stormed the stronghold alone. The guard demons were tough, seemingly unkillable, until Jack poured holy water over his stigmata and burned them all. Just as he was about to enter, another formidable enforcer appeared. Meanwhile, the demon leader was by the spring, gaining power through sacrificial rituals. By the time Jack defeated all the enforcers and reached the spring, the demon leader plunged into the water with a splash. As Jack approached to investigate, another splash echoed. A monstrous form emerged from the water. It was the transformed demon leader, now thick-skinned and immune to the stigmata's effects. Jack was accidentally bitten and, like the old priest, fell poisoned and unconscious. His consciousness drifted to the afterlife, where he met his deceased father. Holding his hand, his father said, "I'll always be with you," strengthening Jack's resolve. When Jack awoke, his stigmata had grown more powerful, his right hand now burned with true holy fire. They battled again. Only this holy fire could injure the monster, though it merely scorched its flesh. Even when knocked unconscious, the monster's wounds healed automatically. Realizing this was futile, Jack knew he needed more than his father's belief. He needed the old priest's faith too. He took the cross ring given by the old priest, clenched it in his hand, and endured sharp pain as the flames intensified. In slow motion, he struck the monster's chest, paralyzing it. Jack then noticed the poison blade still embedded in its heart, the key to victory. He pulled it out and destroyed it with holy fire, finally killing the demon leader. As Jack caught his breath, countless hands emerged from the spring, dragging the demon leader's body underwater as if to remake him. Clearly, while this demon leader was gone, true evil would always persist. Jack's mission was far from over. Riding back to the church, he found the old priest had regained consciousness. Jack had lived up to everyone's expectations and to divine will. One might wonder, if Jack never believed in Christianity before, why would God grant him stigmata? In truth, as a child, Jack often went to church with his father to pray for his mother, who died during childbirth, to be resurrected. Their prayers went unanswered. One night, Jack's father, a traffic officer, was on patrol when he encountered a drunk driving couple. The young man's ring suggested he was the demon leader at the time, and the fox demon beside him was likely the cunning one later possessing the girl. The young man sped through a checkpoint. Jack's father, trying to stop him, grabbed the car door but was thrown off and run over. Seeing his father severely injured, Jack's first thought was of Christianity. He rushed into a church, praying desperately and asking a priest if God could save his father. The priest assured him sincere prayer would suffice. Jack prayed all night, but his father died the next day. Feeling betrayed, he drove the priest from the funeral and turned his back on God. Later, the old priest explained, Jack didn't disbelieve in God, he resented him. And that very resentment proved he had once deeply believed. One cannot resent what they never loved. The deeper the love, the deeper the wound. But above all, it was Jack's inherent goodness that led God to entrust him with this great responsibility.